God damn, that's good juice. Hey everybody, this is Alex with Aviary Wine and Kitchen based out of Austin, Texas. Your friendly neighborhood fermented fox, and this is God damn, that's good juice. I'm back again here in Austin as mentioned. It is basically a balmy 82 degrees outside with that West Texas plains wind rolling in to keep it nice and comfortable. And so in weather like this, we have one option and one option alone, and that is rosé. Seriously, say it with me now. A lot of preconceived notions about rosé from back in the day when things like white zin were very popular. That was the 80s fault. And if you think about what people were doing in the 80s, they probably loved the taste because they couldn't smell it, if you know what I mean. And that being said, rosé as a whole is bone dry, crisp, refreshing, and usually made to lean more in a mineral style than in a sweet style. So that's what we're going to talk about, and that's what we're going to be drinking. Our focus bottle today is not anything better than Castellazioni. Castellazioni is done by Cascina Belmonte. Cascina Belmonte is located up in northern Italy, actually within Valtenesí, which is Lake Garda territory. Lake Garda is the largest freshwater lake in all of Italy, and this wine grows right on the southwestern hillsides in an area known as Brescia, and this wine is actually a very traditional wine for the region. They work mostly with Gropello, which is an indigenous variety that can be made both into red and rosé styles. It's a very pale and thin-skinned grape, so it takes a lot of nurture and care to get the complexity that you want out of Gropello. But then they fold in some familiar Italian grape varieties such as Barbera, also known as Barbera di Alba, or Barbera di Asti if it's from the Alba or Asti region of Italy. You've got Sangiovese, the #1 grape in any Tuscan little number that you're enjoying. Your Chiantis, that's always going to be Sangiovese, pizza wine. And then last but not least, a little bit of Marzemino, another indigenous variety that isn't so prevalent on the tips of the tongue, but also still adds a really cool complexity to the wine itself. I love these guys because for me, they're moving into everything that is being talked about when minimalist winemaking is really in its heyday. Minimalist winemaking is where a winemaker restrains themselves from interacting much with the wine, allowing Mother Nature to take her part, and everything that naturally occurs throughout the winemaking process is preserved within the bottle for the utmost sense of terroir, aka representation of the land, and the largest expression of the actual varieties and where they were grown as a whole. So a really cool chance for you to get a full expression of what it would be like to actually drink the farm juice, because to me that's kind of how I equate all these low intervention wines. They are really at their brass tacks farm juice. All fermented with indigenous yeast. They're working towards no sulfur additions, but it's minimal mineral sulfur additions. Natural sulfites will be occurring through fermentation, and then they just inoculate with an ever so slight amount. That slight is negligible in the grand scheme of things by the time the wine reaches us. So this to me is a natural wine for anybody out there that's curious about that. And after talking about this thing so much and staring at this just delicious glowing Parker Posey pink bottle, I gotta have a little sip. It's quarantine, y'all, so everyone's watching their budget, but I will say that if you're wanting to taste through some wines and be very savvy about it and preserve your wines for long periods, I'm using this to educate my roommates right now, as well as some friends. A Coravin, shout out, #Coravin, is a great little tool to utilize. Lets you to get some of the juice, but not necessarily have to worry about cracking the whole bottle and finishing it or letting it go to waste. Now, mind you, none of us are letting wine go to waste right now. But that all being said, we should still preserve where we can. Watch the nickels and dimes, you know what I mean? So what a Coravin does, it actually injects inert gas known as argon into the bottle as it draws liquid from it. Argon has a greater density than oxygen, so when that occurs, it actually forms like a protective blanket over the wine, ensuring that its longevity is preserved and fresh. You have to make sure the cork is non-synthetic. If it's a synthetic cork, then you have a shorter shelf life on it. They have now also invented a Stelvin cap that once you open a screw cap wine, you place their Stelvin installation on top, and it can preserve the wine the same way as if it was cork in there. But after working with Coravin earlier this year, it turns out they have a belief that a wine can age up to 12 to 15 years underneath argon. So as you will, no one's asking you to lay these down 12 to 15 years, but if you want to taste and enjoy, but not go overboard, it's a really great tool. Let's get in that nose. Oh man. It's just, it basically smells like sunsets. You know what I mean? I feel like you could be sitting on the edge of Lake Garda. Leave Lake Como to Clooney, the real people are going to go to Garda and enjoy themselves. But there's all sorts of rose hip. There's definitely an amazing amount of tangerine zest. Little bit of ruby red grapefruit and just a soft amount of like wet slate like you'd find around a babbling brook. Vibrant though, so pretty on the palate. Oh, that's just refreshment in a glass, ladies and gentlemen. You get a little bit of mango skins. Definitely some more of that rose petal coming through. You're gonna see tangerine, clementine, and a little bit of blood orange zest. Faint notes of cranberry and maybe underripened rhubarb come through on the tail as well. And its acid line is just, I mean, Ken Casey, straight through the roof, electrocholic acid test, good times with this guy. I would recommend crushing this with maybe some aperitifs before. We're all chefs now, we're all cooking. So grab yourself, you know, maybe some high grade, high quality sushi level tuna or yellowtail and slice that thinly. Just have this with that raw, no soy sauce needed, no accoutrements needed, just let her rip. Any type of seared shrimp would be beautiful with this. Cheeses, more hard crumbly cheese with a little bit of salt. And then just friends, happiness, Zoom calls, virtual happy hours, or, you know, a way to beat the blues. This is, for all intents and purposes, for me, sunshine in a glass. And I cannot get enough of it. Clean, thoughtful, well-produced, low-intervention wine by an amazing family. Cascina Belmonte, out to the Valtenesí, right off Lake Garda. You'll definitely need to check this out. It's on the list at Aviary Wine and Kitchen down here in Austin. If you're in outer markets, seek it out and ask for it. And yeah, I mean, let's just finish the way we're supposed to. That's some goddamn good juice. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.